Hey everyone, I hope all of you had a wonderful day and welcome to what I would call the Milestone Park. Yes, we are back in Planet Coaster and this park is going to be, well, it's going to mix Ozaru and Theonopolis together just to celebrate everything achieved so far. Because, well, this video was actually planned to go up, or at least the idea was there to make this video when when I was close to reaching 200 peeps here. So back then it was just like, oh, a small little island for just Theonopolis. Then of course Ozaru happened, and I think you guys all know what happened because most of you guys, like, I'm not going to deny it, are probably here because of Ozaru. I've never really expected Ozaru to gain as much attention as it did, so you guys are completely wonderful, even if you didn't get here by Ozaru. Like, just all of you guys are wonderful, and this park is really just here to basically celebrate everything on the channel, so it's also just going to be just, well, celebrating you guys and you guys being wonderful. Don't let anyone else ever tell you you aren't. But anyway, so yes, the idea for this park is going to be just a small two-part series or project. So this is the first part, and then in the next part we will do something which I'm going to go back on later. But yeah, the idea is to mix up Theonopolis and Ozaru into one park. So that is going to be mixing the Eastern Asian architecture of Ozaru with the ancient Grecian architecture from Theonopolis. And I'm going to be completely honest, this episode or this video was originally intended to go up yesterday, so on October 9th, because then I could also, celebrate something of, well, I wanted to say something of my own, but that doesn't sound right, or at least that sounds a little bit more narcissistic. But yeah, I also wanted to basically celebrate my birthday because October 9th was my birthday, so yeah. It feels, well, in a way it feels better that it didn't go up that day, but then I'm referencing it today, so it might sound very narcissistic, but I just thought, like, then we can celebrate two things at once. Actually, this, as I said before, this park, or at least the idea, was actually intended to go up, or at least be built when or around the time I reached 200, and then, as I said before, Ozaru happened, and then I couldn't just keep up. Like, I just thought, like, oh, Ozaru, it's a small little thing, it's not going to get as much attention, so it's just there for fun. And yeah, let's just say in the last week or two, basically everyone here has like doubled or tripled even. So yeah, I originally intended it to be at 200 people here, and then it went to 300 overnight almost, then 400, and well, it's kind of slowed down a little bit at 500, so I was like, yes, I can, make an actual good milestone video, because 300 already a bit of stretch of logic to make like a milestone video. Then 400, I couldn't make any logic of it. 500 is like a good point to make something like that. And now we're like halfway to 800, so I just thought, like, I can do this now or never. So let's just pretend that this is the video celebrating 500. Well, I'm keep saying people just because it feels weird to call you guys subscribers, but in a way, well, that's just the truth. But yeah, so let's just say that the next video is going to be maybe even celebrating 800. I don't know, like, all these things, like going to bed and then waking up to have almost like 50 to almost 100 subscribers or more people here. It was amazing and surreal. So again, you guys are amazing, and well, I just want to thank you for staying with like my rambly scroll, well, commentaries. So yeah, But anyway, I should probably get back to what we're building. So as I said, we are going to combine the architecture from Theonopolis and Ozaru into one small little island park thingy. So yeah, it's going to be tiny. It's going to be just 2 parts because, well, I wanted to make it into 1 part or like 1 video, but that video would have been an hour long. And I could make this video longer, but then, you know, now we have like a nice break-off point because in this video we are going to recreate, as I would say, some buildings from Theonopolis and Ozaru. So right now we're starting with some buildings from Theonopolis, and then I think actually like we're going to be spending a lot of time on this temple because I wanted to make it small, and I said this 100 times while building in Theonopolis. When I want to make something small, it never turns out small. It always turns out huge. So I should probably say I want to make something big, because then, like, I've actually realized if I say I want to make something big, I actually keep it like more sober and more like, let's just say, less busy. But yeah, that just went out of the window here. I mean, let's just say the last few days are basically a roller coaster. So yeah, I don't want to get like very emotional on video, but again, you guys are amazing. And I don't know what I did to deserve you guys. Well, most of you will probably say build Ozaru, but you know, yeah. So anyway, so we're building this temple, which is actually smaller than, well, it's not smaller, like gigantically smaller than all the other temples in Theonopolis, but it is. Like, I think in Theonopolis right now I have a shrine, or at least I call it a shrine, which has like, maybe like is 8 meters smaller than this one, so it's like a large shrine compared to some temples in Theonopolis. Well, most significantly the first temple that I built, because that's just a giant. So yeah. Anyway, so you might also think like, because I do realize that most of you guys found me through Ozaru, so you will not have heard all the rambling and such of Theonopolis, but when you know, this is a little bit of a pet peeve that I have, but I think I saw it like maybe 2 days ago, but like a blueprint that says like ancient Grecian like habitat or such, and it's completely white. And you, well, I hope you have already seen, but this temple is, well, it has white, like white marble, but most of it is pretty much colored, because historically speaking, or to be historically accurate, most of the temples had like vibrant colors, had vibrant paintings and murals and such. Like what we think of like ancient Grecian art and architecture, or at least what most of people will think, is like these really like pure white statues and broken temples, because most of them haven't stayed up. And although it's like, I'm not like shaming you if you build like a pure white temple or statue. I'm actually very impressed if you can make like an actually good looking statue, because that's like one of the things I can't build. I can't build anything that is like slightly organic, like human-like statues, and later on nature, because nature in Planet Coaster is very limited compared to Planet Zoo. But yeah, it's a little bit of a pet peeve of me if you have a very white temple and say it's like ancient Grecian. But yeah, I wouldn't really like, I think I'm shaming you, but I'm just going to pretend that I'm not. But yeah, like, I already know that like the next, or like the mystery zoo that I'm going to build is like not realistic at all. Though I want to make the buildings like inspired by real buildings. But yeah, also like some buildings in Theonopolis are not realistic. Mostly like houses and such, because ancient Grecian houses are... well, unless you're talking about villas and palaces were actually not that common, mostly like villas at most. But if you're talking about like normal, like common houses, they're pretty plain, so I've actually spiced the houses up when it comes to building things in Theonopolis, but the temples and such, not, well, mostly not spiced up and such. But yeah, also like, again, if you're completely new to Planet Coaster, some of these statues that I'm going to be placing down are not, like, they're not built by Frontier. They're built by actually like the players, because, well, in Planet Coaster we have like the Team Makes Toolkit, which for me is like that enigma of like, people put things in there and get like beautiful statues out of them. Well, then, yeah, just also, yeah, those are penguins that I put on the temple, because when I first started building Theonopolis, we didn't have like the human-like statues, so I had to deal with the statues that that were available to me, and those penguins were what was mostly available to me, so they are making a comeback. But anyway, so yeah, the temples are going to be, well, I actually wanted to build multiple temples on this Acropolis, but I think you guys can already see this temple is massive. Or at least for the island or Acropolis that it stands upon. Like, the Acropolis in Theonopolis is gigantic, so I can put a lot of temples on there. Here, I think this one temple suffices, just because it is massive, and if I add like another shrine or such to it, I want to make it aesthetically pleasing, and I just think that like adding another shrine, or like, well, in Theonopolis this would be a shrine, or like a large shrine, but yeah, I just think that if I add a shrine to it or something like that, like some small religious building, it would probably just be swallowed by the temple, or large. Well, for this park it's a large temple. But yeah, I'm going to keep this park very small. Again, it's going to be only 2 episodes. Today we are going to be mostly recreating stuff, and then in the next episode we will basically mash ancient Grecian architecture and Eastern Asian architecture together, and I was surprised like how well they combined, because Eastern Asian architecture has like very little like stonework, or at least the way Ozaru was built up. It's a lot of beams, a lot of stucco, though ancient Grecian architecture also uses a lot of stucco, or at least the pieces are named stucco. So and then ancient Grecian architecture has a lot of stone, or at least in Theonopolis' case it also has a lot of marble. So I really thought at the beginning like, oh, these things are not going to combine well, and eventually they actually did. I mean, right now I have all of the recreated buildings that I wanted to recreate. Well, the ancient Grecian buildings are not completely recreations, they are just based on the buildings in Theonopolis, because, well, most buildings in Theonopolis are a little bit big, so yeah, I had to make them a little bit smaller. But in the end, they're now standing right next to each other, like the recreations of Ozaru and the buildings inspired by Theonopolis. And they actually, like, they aren't an eyesore next to each other. They actually work rather well. But yeah, it's going to be a small park, just 2 episodes on it, just to again celebrate you guys, because again, you guys are amazing. I have no clue what I really did to deserve you guys, because you are, like, from what I've seen so far, like the most positive people around. And yeah, I should probably not, well, this is an episode to celebrate you guys, so I'm giving myself free range to just gush about you guys. I mean, I didn't want to do that when building the monastery, but like this video and this park are just completely for you guys. Well, they are just built to just celebrate you guys, so I'm giving myself a free pass to just gush about how amazing you guys are. But yeah, anyway, so what we're building right now is just a garden, because as I said before, like, adding another shrine to it would probably just not yield anything, because, you know, you would just look at the big temple and the shrine would just be overlooked, would be swallowed by the temple. But yeah, the nature part in Planet Coaster compared to Planet Zoo is very limited, so I have to, when we're building the Ozaru buildings, you know, the white Himalayan trees that we had in Ozaru are not in Planet Coaster. And well, I also have to combine like the nature of Ozaru and the nature of Theonopolis, so that's like 2 different continents, 2 different types of nature, but I have to combine them. So well, when building the nature of Ozaru, I had to make all the trees custom, or at least I make 1 tree and it's completely custom. So it's a little bit like different shading, or like different, like tiny little bit of color difference, just to make it all like one cohesive park thing. And this is probably also going to be the first park that I will release on the workshop. And well, it's not going to be a full park, it's just going to be like this island that the Acropolis and the village are going to stand upon. So it will probably have like 2 flat rides, maybe at most a kiddie ride and some animals, because Planet Coaster does have animals. Like as I said with the statues, there is like the Team Maker's Toolkit, in which for I don't know how, but some people can make pretty awesome stuff in there. But the animals that did come out of like the Team Maker's Toolkit are basically animatronics, so they are pretty static, or at least they have like a really set animation. So yeah, but there are going to be animals in there, but that's going to be in the next video when we combine all of it. Yeah, so most of what's on the Acropolis, because I thought about adding like the pagoda on the Acropolis, but in the end I didn't want to put the pagoda on there, because then it would just be like a clash. Like I said, with the shrine, the temple would completely swallow it, but with a pagoda I would just think it would be clashing, because then the Acropolis would be too busy. So I'm still thinking like whether I want to add the pagoda or whether I just go with the recreations that I have built. And for the recreations of Ozaru, it's going to be the buildings on the central square. So the food shop and toilet building and the gulpy shop. Although in this version it's not going to be a gulpy shop, because, well, I'm not going to say too much about it right now, but I was hungry when I was building. Also, yeah, I said before, if I'm right, because I have the mind of a gulpfish, and sometimes I forget things halfway through the commentary. But yeah, it was planned to go up yesterday, or at least this video was planned to go up yesterday, so it could go alongside my birthday, because yeah, I'm narcissistic like that. In reality I'm not, but I just thought it would be like ideal to celebrate 2 things. But yeah, as I think many of you guys saw, like in the commentary tour of Ozaru, like the frame rate was horrible. And I thought, oh, it's because Planet Zoo, like it's the beta, so you know it's going to be a messy thing. Like a beta usually is pretty messy, there's going to be bugs and such. So I thought like, oh, it's because of the beta. When I opened this park, like this park is completely empty beyond what we are building right now. So I thought like, alright, I'm not going to have any frame rate issues. It's also going to be a speed build, so if there's like frame rate issues, most of those things like aren't really seen because it goes too fast for that. But even here I had frame rate issues in the recording, but not in the game itself. So then I realized this is not in game, this is because something in the recording is going wrong. So I don't know why I didn't think about this when I filmed the tour of Ozaru, and now I'm like really slapping myself on the head because I didn't think of that. Because I and OBS, which is the recording software I use, kind of have a love-hate relationship. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't think that, and in the end I ended up filming the tour like 3 times. Like the time that you saw was like the best frame rate wise. The first 2 were horrible. But yeah, so eventually I reinstalled OBS and now it's running fine. So yeah, thank you for sticking through the commentary tour. Like I really thought when I uploaded or like made it public, that video, I really thought like, oh, this is going to be the worst video. Like I really thought about just skipping it because I just thought it was so horrible, like all the frame rate drops and such. And again, this just proves how amazing you guys are and how wonderful and kind and understanding, because you didn't really seem to mind it. I think the commentary overview or tour is one of the most viewed videos, also with like the most like watch time. So again, just proves how wonderful you guys are. Because I really thought that that would be the worst video and you guys would just universally hate it. Maybe also because I'm a little bit of like perfectionist, and I just thought like, this isn't good enough, I want to redo this. But it's every time I redo it, it just gets like a tiny bit better and not like actually so much better that I would be pleased by it. So again, just proves how wonderful you guys are, and in a way just proves that, well, I don't deserve you guys. Yeah, I think it also just gives me another reason to just build this park for you guys. It's also in a way just remembering Ozaru, because there's just a, well, I don't know if it's like a big chance, but there is a chance that the blueprints from Ozaru won't be usable in like the final like release version of the game. So by recreating or recreating the buildings of Ozaru, or at least 2 buildings of Ozaru, into Planet Coaster, like Planet Coaster is not going anywhere. So recreating the buildings in Planet Coaster kind of makes them be there forever. Also, I quickly want to mention, if you're like looking at this building, which is just a normal house in Theonopolis, and thinking like, this doesn't look ancient Grecian, yes it isn't, because it's mostly actually inspired by like Renaissance buildings, or like if you think of like Renaissance, like Florence and I want to say Venezia because I played too much Assassin's Creed, so, but yeah, think of like Renaissance buildings there, and that's what the houses in Theonopolis are mostly inspired by, because normal houses in ancient Greece were kind of plain. Unless you were talking about villas. But yeah, it is again like a little bit like creepy how well Eastern ancient buildings go alongside ancient Grecian. Like, you can really see like it's a completely different architecture style, but they don't really clash. Like, I put them right next to each other, and I actually really like it. And that's really weird, I thought at first. But then I can see like the similarities between the two styles, or at least how I built them, because like they all have like columns or beams on like the corners and such. They all have like just some of like the decorations wise, like floors are basically given by, well, here they are, I think they are roof pieces originally, but I think I've used them for everything. But in Ozaru they were just beams that would like signify that, oh, this is the second or like first story of a building. But yeah, there are some similarities, but yeah, right now we are finally building the recreations of the buildings in Ozaru. So again, this is going to be the toilet slash food building, and then next up we will build the Gopi shop. Yes, although it's not going to be a Gopi shop because I was hungry when I was building, and that's like my mood, I would say, or like just like if I'm hungry or thirsty, or what music I listen to while building greatly affects what I'm building. I think yeah, it's very apparent that I was hungry while building the Gopi shop because it turned into a ramen shop. So yeah, and in a way it was weirdly creepy also how quickly I was like able to find the pieces that I could build the style of Ozaru with. There are pieces in Planet Coaster which are like themed as like Chinese or Japanese, which are like somewhat similar to the pieces of Ozaru, but I just wanted to build my own. Also, if like the screen just stops, today it's not frame rate issues, it was literally me just looking at like, oh, how did it, how did the buildings of Ozaru look? Because I do have like a complete catalog of all the screenshots of buildings in Ozaru, so I can really easily just look back into that somewhat of a catalog and just like, oh, this building had this piece there. Yes, I really went into detail with all the screenshots. I think I have 50 screenshots of Ozaru taken throughout while we were building, so do remember most of it, and if I don't remember something of it, I can just look into that catalog. Also, like in the meantime, I'm also building like a catalog of all the reference pictures that I want to use for the mystery park, and I also want to put a words today. Can I just blame it on being buzzed about how wonderful you guys are and amazing? Because I don't think I've said that for the 50th time yet, so, I need to make my quorum of like saying that at least once every minute, I would say. Yeah, but again, you guys are just amazing. But yeah, I want to make a reference to the mystery park because it's only 26 days away, if I'm correct. And yes, I do keep track of it because I want Planet Zoo, because I want to build that mystery park. And I am building like an entire catalog of like all the reference pictures I am going to use or like going to be inspired by when building a mystery zoo. And I'm really curious what you guys think like the mystery zoo is going to be. So if you have any like, let's just say speculations, please do drop them down below. I'm very curious what you guys think. But I think two things are given. Like the floating rocks are given. Maybe a bit of like the nature. Final thing that's probably given is that the first habitat is probably going to be a giant red panda habitat, because I love those animals and I haven't gushed about them enough. Also, I love you guys. I mean, you guys are amazing and wonderful. I think I'm making my quote of like saying that every minute today. But yeah, like, I'm probably going to turn into a broken record, but I'm still so amazed by like, again, like I know that most of you guys didn't find me because of Theonopolis, but more of Ozaru, but all the support, like I can say that I have like the friendliest people here. Like you guys are all like very like just nice and just all around good people, I think. I don't know how you guys are in real life. I just see what you guys type in the comments, so I'm just going to base it entirely off of that. But yeah, I should probably talk a little bit about what we're building, but yeah, I'm basically just recreating the nature of Ozaru, because nature in Planet Coaster again is very limited, but I want to go back to what I was originally talking about, because I talked about the nature already. But yeah, I really didn't think like Ozaru really just started as like a fun little thing like to do when the beta was around, and then, well, you guys happened, and like I think by maybe even by the time this video goes up, or at least maybe even during the night that this, or well, the night after this video goes up, we might reach 800 peeps here. Like, this always felt weird to me to call you guys subscribers. I don't know why, but it just feels weird. So I always like want to call you guys just peeps, just to like circumnavigate that word. I don't know why, it just feels really weird to call you guys subscribers. Can I just call you guys amazing? Like, if I just say amazing and then you guys will know that I'm talking about you? Can I just do that? I'm really making the codum of like saying how many, well, saying you guys are amazing every minute. Eventually, like the building, because I need to talk probably about the buildings a little bit, but I just want to gush about you guys all the time. Like, it's the same as with the Himalayan monastery. I'm like, yeah, so we're building the, what was supposed to be the Gulpy shop, but again, I was hungry, so it turned into a ramen shop. It's a little bit different than the Gulpy shop that we had in Ozaru, because, well, at first it's a ramen shop, but also like I have a lot more like wooden pieces to my disposal, and this is mostly because I just forgot to do any research in Ozaru. yeah, I'm using fire hydrants as building pieces because, I mean, in Planet Coaster, like, especially in the beginning, like, I'm also expecting this in Planet Zoo, but especially in the beginning, people were madly creative with some of the pieces being used. Right now, I use fire hydrants, but I also use microphones as, like, the sticks that I used in Ozaru to hold up, like, this canopy that I'm building right now. Which is vastly different than the one that I built in Ozaru, but I actually like this version better because it's more detailed. Like, it just shows, like, by the time, like, because of course Planet Zoo is probably going to have DLC. Like, I think we're already crying for, let's say, a marine animal DLC. But by the time Planet Zoo comes to the place where Planet Coaster right now is with the amount of pieces, I can't even imagine how crazy some people can get with even just the pieces that are in the base game. But yeah, here I really went mad because I actually built the inside of the shop. And I didn't do this in Ozaru because time constraints. I probably wouldn't have done it even if we didn't have like a deadline. I think I was really just so hungry that I just wanted to constantly stare at the food in the back of the shop. Note to myself, don't build while you're hungry. Get a snack and just build like a normal person. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video because this is going to be all. I'm going to make another video, as I've said, to finalize this like milestone park, which I'm probably going to name Ozaris, but you guys will know because it will be in like the title. But yeah, this is really just a park to just celebrate how amazing you guys are. I'm so thankful for you guys. Like, I'm so like just honored by the amount of kindness and support you guys just constantly just show down below in the comments. So all of the buildings that I'm going to build are going to be on the workshop. Well, some, because some buildings are really terrain needy, I would say. So some buildings, but I'm just too buzzed about you guys because again, you are amazing, and I hope, well, I should probably go into the outro now, but just I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you liked the video, and I hope to see you back in the next one. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button because, well, I don't think I should be saying that because you guys are amazing, but I probably still, well, I should probably remind you that it does help out a lot if you hit the like button. All of you guys have a wonderful day and never stop being the amazing people that I know that you are. Again, you are amazing, and bye bye.